of the Federation. And now to the matter of the day. The student loan bill that was passed recently, signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was proposed by the former Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and it was passed by the lawmakers in the late May 2023 and accented to by President Tinubu. This bill is not the first time the loan scheme was actually proposed and operated in Nigeria. In the 1970s and 80s, the loan scheme was operated in Nigeria by the Student Loan Board and the Education Bank Initiative, which unfortunately were not sustained. This is the focus of our discussion on the program, and I'm being joined in the studio by Benga Olorupomi. He is a seasoned public relations expert. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Well, like you had in the introduction, this is not the first time the student loan scheme is being implemented in Nigeria. How do you see it working this time around? That is, if you have private information, it has actually been in existence and how it worked before now.
Okay, I think first of all, before we have to applaud the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for making sure that he is keeping the promise that he made to the people and ensuring that this loan bill is signed into law within the first 100 days, nay, within the first 10 days of his government. I think that shows that his government is going to be people-centered and that young people form the core of those that will benefit from this government. And that's important because they are the future of the country. The country belongs to them. I think the difference here is in the fact that the last administration, when they wanted to take on the rice revolution, wanted to make rice the staple and stop the importation of rice, what they did was to hand the project over to the CBN, and that is exactly what the president has done. The CBN is right in the center of this particular one, and it's not being done just out of the goodness of his heart. Yes, the bill is going to favor the most indigent in the society, but what's most interesting about it is that you find that because you are giving it to the CBN, you are going to be attracting foreign direct investment in the educational sector. I think that basically what this man is saying to the world is that I am opening up this sector for investment. Right now, we're doing about 5.14% of our GDP in education, with the CBN directly putting their money into this. That is going to grow, and there are multiplier effects of that. So why do I have confidence that this is going to work? Because the Apex banking is involved, because that signals to the world that we are ready. And I think it's just the first in a long line of things that is going to happen to the educational sector.
Nigeria has been bedeviled, if I'm going to have permitted to use that word, by what seems education tourism, where a good number of Nigerians, once they can afford it, are quick to send their children outside the shores of this country to acquire knowledge. Do you see this serving that particular challenge, as well as closing the gap, the unemployment gap we are facing right about now in the country?
So I don't see it as totally bad that Nigerians are seeking knowledge elsewhere. Of course, even as our education is here, we have foreigners coming here to study.
Sure.
No country has the monopoly of knowledge. Exactly. But we're in a knowledge economy. The whole world is looking for people that have the knowledge to solve problems. So if the knowledge exists abroad, yes, they can go there. But on the issue of unemployment, look, I have always believed that our problem is not just unemployment. It is that we have what is called unemployability problem. Many of our people just don't have the requisite skills to do the jobs as they exist today. So how will this loan system, this particular law, help? I know for a fact that wired into this law is a service that is going to advise people who want to take these loans on courses they should do. And of course, it's a business concern for the CBN. They are not going to advise you on jobs that they know that the data shows will be redundant in the next few years because of AI, because of innovations in technology. They are going to prepare, they are going to advise those to take those loans on jobs that exist today and that will exist tomorrow. So the issue of skills will be dealt with. There are many jobs that exist both locally and internationally that Nigerians just are not taking advantage of because they don't have the skills. With a program like this that is tailored to solve current and future problems, the issue of unemployability will be fully tackled, in my opinion.
I quite agree with your submission on skills, the issues of skills and the gap in skills. But the curriculum we have in the country as it were today, does it address some of these jobs you're referring to, talking about jobs of today and jobs of the future?
Well, I know that I'm a product of a federal institution, and yes, we have the challenges of, the curriculum just not working for 21st century problems. But at the same time, the private universities are leading the way in that area. They are showing that it is possible to do it here. And I think that with a program like this, and be free to take decisions without government interferences. So, and I think what this will do is that it will raise the level of competition. Schools will be able to now say exactly what they want to concentrate on, and they can charge fair prices. I don't think it's fair that Nigerians will come and say, oh, they want universities to be opened all the time without strikes. They want lecturers' pay to be high, but at the same time, they want to pay low wages. I think this is just a first step in a series of steps that will probably end up in university autonomy. And believe me, I believe is going to be good for this country ultimately. Yes,
you mentioned the role of lecturers. We also understand that, as we say, the students, Nigerian students, don't necessarily need a loan, but they need grants. How do you see to that, more so that universities are being advised to get to look at ways of raising revenue within the system to fund the system rather than depending entirely on government funding over time?
So thanks for answering the question within your own question. You just said that the universities lecturers are saying they want grants. Already, our standard of education, especially in the federal institutions, have been falling for decades because funding is just not there. And that's because people are paying way below what they should for higher institution education. Now, is it when a few people are getting grants to go to school, is it that time to improve? Even now, when millions of people are getting subsidized education, I don't think the route of grant, is inclusive enough. I think this particular loan bill that allows for the poorest of the poor to take advantage to, apply and be given loans depending, and these loans are given on a case-by-case basis, or are going to be given on a case-by-case basis because it will depend on the course you're studying and all that. Then before you start paying back 2 years after your NYC and all that. So I think this loan route is better because what it does is that it will encourage even people who people who have extra lessons, people who have buildings around schools. There will be more restaurants, people who sell drinks and all that. It's going to make education economy one that a lot more people will be absorbed into. So
more like a multiplier effect.
There's a lot of multiplier effects on it. So I think the route of a loan that is democratic, that is fair and easily accessible is better than a grant program.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Benga, for sharing your thoughts with us and the insights you've given us on the way to go and how this initiative should be well celebrated more than it's been done now. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thanks very much, Benny.